Then ya dharmaha is there, Ye dharmaha means those values. Te means those. Te. Mayi means in me. Atmani in me. Mayi and Atmani means what? Both mean the same thing. In me. Atmani, Mayi means what? In myself. Te dharmaha. Those dharmas. Which dharmas? Which values? Upanishadsu. The Upanishads. The values that are mentioned as necessary. Because there are certain values which are necessary. Without the values you can't really proceed further. Therefore the values which are necessary for mental peace, those values, Upanishadsu dharmaha, te mayi atmani santu. Let them be there. In me. Let the values abide in me. For how long? Nirate. Always. Nirate means what? Always. Nirate santu. Dharmaha nirataha. It is chandasam. Nirataha santu. Nirataha means what? Nityaha santu. Let them be always remain with me. Let the Shraddha be always with me until knowledge. Afterwards, Shraddha becomes fulfilled. Let there be Shraddha in me, Bhakti in me, health in me, wealth in me, Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha. All these values which really make me a strong Jignasu, make me a real seeker, a complete student. These values which make me a complete student, let them all be there. Values means I am not talking about social values. You understand, social values are different from spiritual values. Social values means what? Not a value, like you have to show your patriotism. You have to serve the society. If somebody is corrupt, you should fight corruption. You should fight against corruption. You should really work for the welfare of the handicapped. This is all what? Social values. Social values are different from spiritual values. A person who has followed all the social values and who has lost really the interest in the very society itself, he becomes a jignasu. Social values also you have already followed, but to understand Brahma Vidya, to understand Brahman, which values are necessary? Spiritual values. What are those values? Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam, Vivekaha, Vairagyam, Mumukshutvam. These are called Shat Sampatti, fourfold values. These fourfold values are directly connected to Vichara. Supposing you work for you fight against the caste system. Let us just have an example. हमारा देश में casteism बड़ा मुश्किल किया है. It has created a lot of problems. Therefore, let me fight against casteism. Now you will fight against. You do, there is a crusade against casteism. उससे विचार होता है. Is it directly connected to Brahma Vichara? You try to uplift all the poor people in the society. I don't say that you should not uplift. You can do it. But that is not the value that we are talking about. कौन सी धर्म? नॉट धर्मशास्त्र में जो धर्म है वो नहीं. Not the values in Dharmashastra, but the values in Upanishads. The student is asking the Lord to give him the values that are present in the Upanishads, but not the values in Dharmashastra. Dharmashastra mein the dharmas that are mentioned in the Dharmashastra are different from the dharmas, the values that are mentioned in the Upanishads. The values which are necessary for a Sika are different from the values that are followed by a non-Sika who has value only for dharma, drishtam, punya. The values that lead to punya are different from the values that lead to vichara. When you uplift the society, it will not lead to vichara, it will lead to punya. When you help a blind person, let us say, to help the blind, to help the deaf, to help the dumb, to help the poor, to help the country, to help anybody, to help anything, to do any good action, to get the wells sunk, build the tanks, put the trees, all these things, bada अच्छा काम करते हैं. Will it make you do vichara or will it give you punya? स्वर्ग जाएंगे, वापस आएंगे, अच्छा जन्म मिलेंगे. They are all dharma that is mentioned in Dharmashastra. But what are the dharmas in Vedanta? What are the values? The values are Viveka, Vairagya, Shat Sampatti and Mumukshutvam. They are directly connected to Vichara and knowledge. Therefore here it says, Dharmaha me te mayi santu. Hey Bhagavan, let these values abide in me. Mayi santu. Te mayi santu. Let them always remain in me. Thus, how many things he asks for? Let there be, let my limbs be strong means what? Let there be, let my body always enjoy physical health. That is one motive behind the prayer. This is what one asks from the Lord. And the second is, let not Brahma deny me the knowledge. Means what? Let him not deny comprehensibility. Let him not defy my understanding of it. And let me not refuse to understand. It can be either way, He can be very difficult to understand, or I may become very. Sometimes the textbook is very difficult. Children, a child, he can't understand the text because himself is not in a mood to study. Sometimes he is in a mood to study, but the book itself is very difficult. Supposing he is in a mood to study and the book is easy, so asana. That is all that is said here. Let not the subject matter define my understanding. Let me not refuse to understand it. And then let there be no denial, let there be no denial, and let there be all values in me so that I can understand Brahma. I must understand Brahma, because without understanding, the samsara does not come to an end. The problem of individuality is not solved. The problem of re-embodiment will not be solved. Therefore, hey Bhagavan, help me to achieve all this so that I can continue my pursuit and know the truth. Is Shanti. When there is Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let there be Shanti from all sides. Shanti in the Adhyatmika means what? Let there be no problems within me. Then next to Shanti, let there be no problems outside me, around me. And the last Shanti is Adi Daivikam. Let there be Shanti from the unknown sources. Supposing there is some adrishtam. My prarabdham is very bad and it is going to take me by surprise in another few days. Now this prayer can Shanti. If there is in my purva, in my prarabdha, if there is something, then I have to pacify it. That is what is called Adi Daivikam. Vighna. Adi Bhautikam means society, elements, वगैरह. Adi Adhyatmikam means within my body and the mind. So let there be no problems coming from my body and the mind. Let there be no problems, let there be no obstacles coming up from the society surrounding. And let there be no obstacles from the unknown sources. From me there should be no obstacle. From the surrounding there should be no obstacle. From the unknown there should be no obstacle. Thus I become free from all the obstacles and continue to pursue. More of it will see later. Tu sahavedam karavavahai tejasvinavati tamastu mahavishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrottram Atho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahmopanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranamastu Anirakaranam me astu Tadatmani Nirateya Upanishadsu Dharma धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः So the Shanti mantra is over. So having offered the Shanti mantra, then the Upanishad begins. The name of the Upanishad is Kenopanishad. Comes from Samaveda. Kenopanishad comes from Samaveda. Kena means, by whom. Upanishad is Upanishad. Kena Upanishad means it is an Upanishad which begins with the shloka. Which shloka begins with the word Kena? Kena Upanishad means what? It is an Upanishad. It is named after the first word of the Upanishad. This is an Upanishad which is called Kena Upanishad because it begins with Kena Upanishad. Now each Upanishad has got like Kathopanishad or Kathopanishad or Kathakopanishad in the form of a Katha. Also they give another meaning, Kataka Rishi has written it. So Mundakopanishad. So Mundaka Rishi Pranitam. Mundakopanishad. Brihadaranyakopanishad. It is like, so it is really big and it should be reflected upon in the forest. Brihadaranyakopanishad is called Brihadaranyakopanishad because it's a very huge thing and it should be done, should be studied in Ekanta. Bhashya mein artha diya hai. Like this, each Upanishad has got a name. This is called Kena Upanishad because it begins with the word Kena. Keneshitam prasatit preshitam manaha iti, the first mantra. Upanishad means Brahma Vidya. Simple meaning. If I give a lot of details, you won't. If I give 10 details, you will forget all the 10 details. If I give one detail, you will remember it. So all the details, the entire meaning of Upanishad means Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of Brahma, the just Brahma Vidya is called Upanishad. The knowledge, literally Upanishad means Brahma Vidya, the knowledge about Brahma, which destroys samsara. That can be taken. The knowledge of Brahma, which knowledge destroys samsara, is called Brahma Vidya. Then a book that teaches, the book that gives me, the book that unfolds what is Brahma, that is also called Brahma Vidya. Upanishad. So the literal meaning, the Mukhyartha of the word Upanishad is, the Mukhyartha and Gaunartha, there are two arthas. Like, the book of music, the knowledge. There is the book which teaches music, let us say. All about music you will find written there in the book. Now, is that book music? Is that knowledge of music? No, the knowledge of music is different. It is in the mind of the one who has it. The knowledge is not there here. The knowledge doesn't exist. The knowledge doesn't exist in the book. The knowledge is in the person who has it. It is in the being. The knowledge is in the Atma. The knowledge is in the person. The one who has Brahma Vidya, in him is the knowledge. The one who has the vision, in him is the vision. In the book there is no vision. In the book there is no vision. The vision is held by the person who has it. That knowledge that is there in the person who has it, that knowledge is what is called Upanishad.
That knowledge that is there in a person, that knowledge of Atma as Brahma is called Upanishad. That vision, when he communicates it in the form of words, when he communicates that vision in the form of words through the words, and the same words get collected in the form of a book, that is also called the Upanishad, because it is meant to communicate that vision. The words in the form of a book. What is a book? Words. These words are the Shabdas, are meant to communicate. They are the words used by the very teacher. These are the words used by the Shruti to communicate that vision. Shruti has the vision, or a person has the vision. So, does the vision exist in the book? Knowledge doesn't exist in the book. Knowledge exists only in the person who has it. That knowledge is called Upanishad. But in order to communicate that vision, he has to use words. Those words become a book. That is also called Upanishad because it is meant to communicate. It becomes pramanam. One is pramanam, the other is called jnanam. Jnanam is called Upanishad. The pramanam that communicates that knowledge, that vision, is also called Upanishad. The book is also called, the book in the form of words is also called Upanishad because it is meant to create knowledge. The words are meant to create knowledge. The vision in the mind of the teacher is called Upanishad, and when he communicates it in the form of words, when he speaks the words, all the words are called the teaching. That is also called Upanishad. When a teacher teaches, that teaching is always in the form of words, and all those words are called Upanishad because they are meant to communicate that vision. But actually, what is Upanishad? The words are the vision. The vision, the knowledge that the knowledge that the teacher has, the knowledge that is had by the Shruti or the knowledge in the mind of the teacher is called, that knowledge is called Upanishad. And when you try to communicate that knowledge to another, you have to use the words, and the Shruti uses the words. That is called communicating. The words used to communicate that vision, those words are also called Upanishad because they are meant to communicate. So, Mukhya Vritya, primarily Upanishad means the knowledge, secondarily Upanishad means even the words that are meant to communicate that vision. The words also are called Upanishad by secondary meaning. Gauna Vritya Grandhopi Upanishad, Mukhya Vritya tu Vidya. Is it clear? Not clear. There is a difference between the knowledge and the word. One is knowledge, the other is the words that you use to communicate. But actually, what is Upanishad? Brahma Vidya. And the words that are used to communicate that Vidya is also Upanishad. Keno Upanishad. Now, this Upanishad, there are a lot of new students talk about this Upanishad. We have the Veda. Veda is considered to be Apaurusheya Pramanam. It is a Pramanam, Apaurusheyam. Pramanam means means of knowledge. Pramanam means what? Means of knowledge. Prama means knowledge. Pramanam means means of knowledge. Pramakaranam Pramanam. Paurusha means Purusha. Paurushaya means what? Purushasya. Idam Purushasya idam paurusheyam. What belongs to Purusha is called paurusheyam. Like chakshu shrotram, these are all paurusheya pramanas. The means of perception that you have, pratyakshadi pramanas, the means of knowledge that you have, they are all called paurusheya pramana. Jiva has with him. They are all stuck to him. He can't exist without them. They are called paurusheya pramanas. All the paurusheya pramanas are meant to illumine the things of the world. Like 5 elements are illumined by paurusheya pramanas. I infer a lot of things within the world through paurusheya pramanas. You always make inferences, you know. आज हम वहाँ पर जाएंगे तो इतना मिलेंगे, वहाँ पर जाएंगे तो इतना मिलेंगे, यहाँ पर इतना लाभ होगा, वहाँ पर उतना नष्ट होगा. You don't see with the eyes, but then still you make inferences. The help of Veda or through the logic, you logically infer. This is all called Purusha Pramana. But thus all the things, the universe, the details of the universe one can understand through Paurusheya Pramana. The entire science is what? Is all found through Paurusheya Pramana. Our entire science. Veda is not the means to the science. It's all probing, mental mind itself, one's mind, one's perception. So it's all Paurusheya Pramanas, Pratyaksha, Anumana, Arthapatti, Anupalabdhi, Upamana. These are the 5 Pramanas. In fact, all the 5 Pramanas can be reduced to only 2 Pramanas, Pratyaksha and Anumana. We accept all the 5 because there are pressures from other schools of thought. Therefore, ठीक है पंच प्रमाण को मान लो. Otherwise, really speaking, everything boils down to 2 pramanas. Either you see or you infer. Either you see directly or you infer, both of them. Anyway, we accept 5 pramanas. Direct perception called pratyaksha. Inference, you see the smoke. Seeing the smoke is pratyaksha, and inferring fire through the smoke is called inference. Similarly, arthapatti means a kind of, it is also a part of anumana. Arthapatti also is a part of anumana. Kind of guesswork, but it is not infallible. In anumana there is infallibility. Arthapatti there is no infallibility. Like you know, Devadatta. Kind of Devadatta, I never see him eating in the daytime. There is one Mr. Devadatta. I never see him eating in the daytime. But he keeps on putting on weight, you know. Keeps on putting weight. Then how does he put on weight? Then I make a guesswork. This man, Devadatta, he doesn't eat in the daytime. Therefore he must be eating night time. This is what is called Devadattaha Divana Bhunkte. Devadattaha Divana Bhunkte. Doesn't eat by day. Tathapi Vivaro Drishyate. But still he seems to put on weight. Vivaraha means, you know, putting on weight. Vivaro Drishyate. Ataha Ratrau Bhunkte. Therefore he must be eating in the night. इस प्रकार के अनुमान लगाते हैं. This is called Arthapatti. Could be something else also. Then Upamana. Upamana means like you haven't seen a, there is something called bison. Something called, it looks like a cow, you know. Looks like a cow, almost like cow. You haven't seen a bison. Then I want to give you the knowledge of bison. Then I can really say it is like cow. So it gives you some knowledge. You haven't seen bison, but still I can compare it with something which you know. The unknown I try to communicate to you. by comparing it with something you already know. So some similarity, it gives you some knowledge. That is called upamana. Upamana becomes a pramana which does give knowledge. Some knowledge it gives. Complete knowledge except pratyaksha, no, nothing else gives. All give some knowledge. Like even anumana, you see the smoke and infer fire. Is it complete knowledge? It's only when you go and see, there is direct knowledge. Similarly, upamana also gives you some knowledge, but it's only when you see bison you have the complete knowledge. Before that you have some knowledge. Paroksha jnana. Upamana is considered to be another pramanam. So pratyaksham, anumana, arthapatti and upamana, and the last is anupalabdhi. Like man doesn't have a horn is your knowledge. You know that man doesn't have knowledge. Man doesn't have horn. Manushya doesn't have a horn. How do you know it? Do you see with the eyes? Do you use the eyes and see the absence of horn? Do you see the absence of the horn with the eyes? We always see the presence of forms. Eyes see not the absence of form, eyes only see presence of form. But the absence of form, how did you see? But you know that man doesn't have a horn. So the absence is not directly seen. It's a peculiar pramanam. This is anupalabdhi is one thing nobody gives correct explanation. So we have only one explanation. It is not there because I use the eyes and there is no perception. If there were, I would have seen. I don't see. It is called anupalabdhi. Upalabdhi nahi hai. Upalabdhi means what? Perception. Anupalabdhi means what? Non-perception. I don't perceive it, therefore it is not there. I see the head of man, I see the head, but I don't see the horn. If there were horns, I would have seen this kind of pramana. Anupalabdhi becomes a means of knowledge of the absence. Like upalabdhi becomes the pramanam for the presence of things, anupalabdhi becomes the pramanam for the absence of things. Thus we have pratyaksha, anumana, arthapatti, anupalabdhi, iti, upamana, iti. These are 5 pramanas, and all the 5 pramanas are called paurusheya pramanas. Paurusheya pramanas means the pramanas that are there with man. Now Veda is different from these 5 pramanas. That is why it is called apaurusheya pramanam. Apaurusheya pramanam means it is a pramanam that is not with man. Veda is outside you. Veda is a means of knowledge. It gives you knowledge. Veda gives you knowledge about things which your own means of knowledge don't give. Whatever means of knowledge I have called Paurushaya Pramana, their subject matter is different from Veda's subject matter. What my Pramanas fail to tell me, that the Veda tells. Like Chakshu tells, Chakshu's realm is form, Shrotram's realm is sound. Each sense organ has got its own subject matter. They don't clash. They don't confirm each other. They don't also oppose each other. Chakshu Pramana doesn't confirm the Shrotram. Supposing you hear a sound and you have a doubt. And to find out what is that sound, you don't use the eyes. Eyes don't tell anything. Therefore, there is no confirmation. There is no mutual confirmation or mutual opposition between Chakshu Pramana and Shrotra Pramana, Pancha Pramana. Similarly, Veda also has a subject matter which is not confirmed by Paurushaya Pramanas. Neither it is confirmed by the Pratyakshadi Pramanas, nor it is opposed by Pratyakshadi Pramanas. The Veda subject matter is not really confirmed by the Pratyaksh Paurushaya Pramana. And are you able to follow? Veda is a Paurushaya Pramana, and man has Paurushaya Pramanas. So what the Veda talks is a subject matter which is not confirmed by Paurushaya Pramanas, nor is it opposed by Paurushaya Pramanas. Thus it becomes Swatah Pramanam. Thus Veda becomes a Swatah Pramanam. Every Pramanam is Swatah Pramanam. This word Swatah Pramanam also is generally never understood. Swataha Pramanam means what? You don't have to say Swatah Pramanam. Pramanam is always Swatah Pramanam. Because Buddhis came and then talked about Pramanam being dependent upon another Pramanam, we have to say that Pramanam is not Parataha, Pramanam is always Swataha. It is Swatah Pramanam, every Pramanam. Like you see a form, now what will really confirm? You see a tree as a tree. Supposing you get a doubt. Suppose you get a doubt whether it is tree or not. Then what do you use? Which Pramanam do you use? Eyes themselves have to be used and then confirmed. You see something and then mistake it. Thoda aankh theek se nahi dikhta hai. So you see something and then you get a doubt. Then you don't use ears. Use the same eyes. So the knowledge of the form, knowledge given by the sight is final as far as the form is concerned. It's final. It need not be proved by any Pramanam. It cannot be opposed by any Pramanam. It is a final. Chakshu is the final Pramanam in the matter of the form as form. Shrotram is the final Pramanam in the matter of the sound. Each Pramanam, each sense organ is a final Pramanam in the matter of the five sense objects. In the same manner, Veda is a final Pramanam. Veda is the final Pramanam in the matter of its own subject matter called Karma Sadhya Sadhana Sambandha Karma Phala Adrishtam. In the matter of the Adrishtam and in the matter of Atma. Veda has got a lot of things to talk. All of them can be reduced to two things. One is called Adrishtam, means it talks that there is Punya and Papa. And it talks about various phalas, various sadhyas. After death you will have this sadhya, this sadhya, this sadhya, this sadhya. Jiva will go to various lokas. It talks about various lokas and it talks about various phalas and it gives also various sadhanas, the means by which one can go to various lokas. Now in this matter you have no proof. These pramanas cannot be used to confirm them, nor they can be used to oppose it. I have already told you, one pramana cannot oppose or confirm what is said by another pramana. So Veda talks about punya, papa, which is adrishtam, means paurushaya pramano se humse kuch hota nahi. I cannot see punya, I cannot see papa. Then the various other lokas are not seen by Paurushaya Pramanas. Sadhya Sadhana Sambandha, this ritual leads to this phalam. I can never see. You perform Agnihotra, you will go to heaven. I just don't see the connection between Agnihotra and heaven. First of all, I don't see heaven. Swarga Kamo Yajeta, Shruti says, if you are interested in Swarga, please perform this ritual. Then you can't say, please tell me logically, be logical and tell me how this ritual is going to take me to heaven. If it is all logical, if it is logically explicable, then you don't have to go to Veda, because one's own logic is enough. There is no such thing, Veda being logical as far as Karmakana is concerned. So now, if you perform this ritual, you will really get the rains. Suppose you say Varsha Kamo, there are certain Varsha Kameshti Yagam, Putra Kameshti Yagam, Swarga Kameshti Yagam. Swarga Kameshti means what? Ishti means the one who desires. Swarga Kameshti means what? Swarga Kama Ishti Yagam, the yaga that is meant for the person who has the desire to go to heaven. Putra Kam, Dasharatha performed Putra Kameshti Yagam. You know Putra Kameshti Yagam. Performed the Putra Kameshti Yagam. He had the Putra also. Not 1/4. What did he get? Ultimately, he had to lose whole thing sorrow. Anyway, desire to hota hai na. So then there is a lot of problems. Then Varsha Kameshti Yagam. Like this, there are rituals which are mentioned by the Veda as the sadhanam for various sadhya. This I can never figure out through my pramanas. Now there is another topic which is mentioned by Veda, and that is called Vedanta, that you are not Jiva, you are Brahma. This Jagat is Mithya, Bhranti, and you are Brahma Advitiyam. This also I can never figure out through my pramanas. Punya Papa I cannot figure out through my pramanas. Myself being Brahman I cannot figure out through my pramanas. Therefore what is Veda? Apaurusheya Pramana. It is a pramanam that tells me things which I can't figure out by my means of knowledge. Therefore it is a pramanam called Apaurusheya Pramana. This Apaurusheya Pramanam is translated in some of your English books. Apaurusheya Pramanam means it is a pramanam not written by any person. Paurusheya means what? Purusha, Pranitam, Paurusheyam. Like Arsham, Rishi Pranitam is called Arsham. Similarly, Paurusheyam means Purusha Pranitam. Apaurusheyam means what? Na Purusha Pranitam. That means it is not written by any human hand. Apaurushaya Pramanam means what? Veda, not written by any human hand. Bhagavan himself came and wrote down. Aisa nahi hai. We are not talking about who has written it, who has not written. We are talking about its nature. We are not really bothering about like everybody is more interested in who has written Veda. Nobody is interested what is this Pramanam. What is it dealing with? It is dealing with what? A subject matter that is not dealt with your Pramanas. If it is Apaurushaya Pramanam, definitely it is not written by, even if it is written by a human being, just imagine, even if it is written by a human being, if it is written by a human being, he can only write what he has known through his Pramanas, only about this world. Supposing he came to know through something, maybe he got this knowledge from his teacher and he wrote it down, let us say. Then also it becomes really Apaurushaya Pramanam because the subject matter is something different from the subject matter of our Pramanas. But anyway, there is no reference to being written and not being written to Veda. This question you forget about it. Veda is something, neither there is no reference to its being written, nor there is any reference to its being not written, because that question doesn't arise. The question is not who has written it. The question is what is its subject matter. Do you follow the point? Apaurushaya Shabda, the word Apaurushayam, does not prove it's being written by somebody, nor does it disprove it's being written by somebody. Apaurushaya Pramanam, this word proves its subject matter being different from Paurushaya Pramana's subject matter. Its subject matter is different, which can never be known through man's Pramanas. Adrishtam cannot be figured out, Janmantaram cannot be, continuity of Jiva cannot be figured out, Lokantara Prapti cannot be figured out, and then Karyakarana, the Sadhya Sadhana Bhava cannot be figured out, Atma being Brahman cannot be figured out. Therefore, it is called Apaurushaya Pramanam. Iti. Clear? That Veda, which is Apaurushaya Pramanam, is there along with the universe. When the universe is, it is, supposing it is a book it is something that is talking about a phenomenon in the universe, within our waking Jagrat. Then we have to say it happened in the waking Prapancha. Like physics talks about the laws in the waking, physics talks about the laws in the waking. Does your physics talk about the laws in the dream? Sometimes you fly away from the earth. You are not gravitated to the earth place. Have you ever seen yourself being gravitated away from the earth? You haven't seen in the dream? You have seen in the dream yourself being gravitated away. Now which physics talks about that law? So your physics is only talking about the laws in the waking, not laws in the dream. Similarly there, in the dream sometimes it so happens, you eat, you become hungry, and you don't eat, you feel very happy. वो भी होता है. There also so many things happen, so many all opposite things. Sometimes you find, one finds oneself dead. One sees one's own dead body. Many people tell me, in the death, in the dream, I died, and then I was carried, and then I was cremated, and there are a lot of people looking at me. All these things I had that. That means his own death he saw. That what kind of law is it? It is not a law that is applicable in the waking. That means the laws that are there in the dream are all different. So your physics only talks about the laws in the waking. Now that means that book of physics is all evolved in the waking. What deals with the things in the waking, well, evolves in the waking. It is found out within the waking. But the Veda is not talking about things in the waking. Veda is not talking about things in the waking. Nor Veda talks about the things in the dream. Because the things in the waking I can know through my waking senses. Things in the dream I can know through the means of knowledge in the senses in the dream. Through the waking senses I can know the waking, I can understand the waking things. Through the dream senses I can know the dream things. But the Veda is not talking about the waking things or the dream things, but other things which I can't figure out through these sense organs, like even Adrishtam, like even Lokantara, that there is another Loka. You can't find out through these Pramanas. Punarjanma is a fact I don't know, is revealed by Shruti. So thus Veda is not something that has evolved in the waking, it has evolved in the dream. And it is also talking about Atma as Brahma, I can't figure out through the senses. Therefore the Veda that talks about the truth of the entire universe and the things which can never be perceived through the sense organs, that Veda is in fact not evolved or founded or discovered or invented by a given Purusha. We say Veda has been there along with the Prapancha. How the Bhranti is Anadi, Veda also is Anadi. How Adhyasa is Anadi, Veda is also Anadi. Where is Veda? Veda means knowledge. Veda is not a book, please. In another loka there will be a Rishi in whom there is knowledge about Adrishtam and knowledge about Atma. That knowledge is called Veda. Veda is not a book. Like Brahma Vidya, like Upanishad means what? It is not? It is not a book. It is knowledge about the Tattvam. Therefore, it is not only on the earth there is Veda, in the other lokas, in the other, where Prapancham is Vistara hai. So it is unlimited wherever there are jivas, in whom the choice is manifest, there will be Veda. Definitely there will be Veda. Therefore, Veda is anadi, it has been associated with the prapancha. It is meant for the jivas, but it is not created by jivas. Veda is meant for jivas, but not created by jivas. I haven't created my own pramanas. Paurusheya pramanas themselves I am not the author of. हमारे पास जो है, I am not the author of my own pramanas. How can I be the author of Paurusheya pramana? Did you invent the chakshu? You didn't invent the chakshu. Eyes you don't invent. You haven't invented. The so-called invention is what? Can you invent one more sense organ? It will be very interesting. If anybody says, I am a very great person, very proud, Some people are very proud. हमने ये किया, वो किया. Yes, इतनी बात, you have done so many things. Why did you not do one more thing up front? So why did you not create one more sixth sense organ? So they think they can turn mountains. Like Agastya, they can swallow ocean. They can lift the mountains. They can fly in the sky. All that you can do. To swallow an ocean is easy. To turn the mountains is easy. To be Hanuman is not difficult. To be Agastya is not difficult.